You're watching Cycle Talk, Australia's motorcycle show. From sports bikes to motocross to cruisers, we love them all. We ride them, thrash them, test them, and sometimes we even crash them. Welcome to Cycle Talk. In this episode, we ride Kawasaki's 2017 Z900. We go naked touring with the MT10, 650NK and Z900. We show you how to get customizing and lots more. Thanks for joining us. Cycle Talk is joining Harley-Davidson in celebrating 100 years in Australia. Harley-Davidson dealers across the country will be celebrating, and we're going to go to one of the biggest events, Morgan & Wacker's Street Party on May 6th. Now, Morgan & Wacker's is the reason that it's been 100 years in Australia, because they've been selling Harley-Davidson since 1917. And Bill Davidson, great-grandson of William A. Davidson, is coming out to help celebrate. And we're going to live stream the celebrations there from 9:30 a.m. on May the 6th on Facebook. So jump across to our Facebook page on that morning and you'll be able to watch it if you can't get there. And I'm sure that a lot of people will. Morgan & Wacker have lots more information on their website and Facebook page. So get across and have a look and join us in Brisbane on May the 6th for what will be a very memorable street party. And you should check with your local Harley-Davidson dealer about when they're having their 100th anniversary party. Harley also has a huge range of clothing, celebratory clothing, mainly t-shirts and hoodies, but there's also a celebratory pin, and it looks like that. And when you buy one of those, you go into the draw to win a Street Glide special. And the Street Glide is my favourite Harley of the touring range. So it's definitely a good thing to win. So get in and buy one of these and get involved, and you never know, you might be riding a new touring bike soon. It's a big week for Harley news, with the motor company announcing that the trikes will be available in this country from October. Harley's finally got approval for these trikes to be available. They've been available in places like New Zealand and the USA for ages. But in Australia, with Australian design regulations, they've had a lot of trouble getting them across the line, but they've finally done it. We'll be getting the Freewheeler and the Tri-Glide Ultra from October. The Freewheeler is described as a stripped down hot rod style machine, where the Ultra, of course, gets its DNA from the Ultra Classic, which is the big touring machine. Talking of stupid Australian rules, did you know that it was illegal to stand up on your foot pegs until recently? Now, I'm not sure how you ride a dirt bike or an adventure bike without standing up, but there you go. It was also illegal to push your motorcycle, even though it's not running, along a road without wearing a helmet. And again, if your bike's broken down and it's 30 degrees, the last thing you want to do is be wearing a helmet while you're pushing your motorcycle along the road, or even across a service station forecourt. Would have technically been illegal. Well, those rules have been thrown out, and I didn't even know they were rules until Ryan here at Cycle Talk discovered them while he was doing some research about the new Voz helmets. Ryan went to the launch of Voz helmets back in like December 2015, but the helmets didn't go on sale in a hurry, and we've since found out why. They've had a few issues with the quality that they were getting, and they've since fixed that. So the new Voz helmets are now available, and they have a really innovative design. Instead of having a retention strap, they have a hinge, and you flip the back of the helmet open, put your head in the front and clip it together, and it seals up that way. No strap. Voz helmets skipped the 1698 Australian ADR horrible rule and went with ECE approval, and that's all you need to be able to sell in Australia these days, as is most of the world. One of the big features of Voz helmets is the ability to just dismantle the helmet on the side of the road after an accident. So if somebody's had a crash, and if they're unconscious or if there's suspected head injuries, they can be actually pulled apart like on the side of the road. You don't actually have to pull the helmet over the top of their head. That's one of the big features, and it's a big safety feature that the ambulance crews and things are really looking forward to, being able to look after people that little bit better by not having to drag a helmet over the top of someone's head. Jump on their website, have a look at what they've got, and check them out and see if they work for you. Former Cycle Talk staff member Miles Davis is going to contest the Fink Desert Race on a BMW R1200 GS Rally X. Davis, who has spent the last 10 years or so working for BMW, believes that racing the bike in the Fink will be a really good way to showcase the new Rally X's abilities in really tough off-road conditions. There are around 500 motorcycles entered in the 2017 event. It sold out in less than a day. And entrants generally ride lightweight 250cc to 500cc motocross machines. So riding a 200 kilogram plus R1200 GS is definitely going to be a bit different, said Davis. The Fink will be immediately followed by a customer ride program that will traverse the Simpson Desert's 1100 sand dunes, running from Alice Springs to Birdsville via Mount Dare. I think this is a really brave thing, both on BMW's part to allow this to happen, and Miles in particular. He's an incredible rider of these BMW machines, and I think he'll go okay in the Fink. I don't think he'll have too many problems. You know, I don't think he'll win, but I think he'll be okay. But to then back it up and do a Simpson Desert crossing with a whole bunch of customers, I mean, they have an awful lot of confidence in these machines, and they're very, very heavy, so you've got to keep them moving. But I think it'll be a really, really good challenge for a lot of people. And if you want to get involved, jump on their website and check it all out. But it will be a challenge, and it is only for the experienced off-road adventure rider. This bike test is brought to you by Wiley X, absolute premium protection.
The motorcycle before me is responsible for more wet dreams in the 1970s than Debbie does Dallas. It's Kawasaki's Z900. I've been really trying. The new Z9 is a fair departure from those early UJM machines, and it currently sits in a bit of a strange place in Kawasaki's 2017 catalogue. For this model year, the Z900 joins the 650 and 1000 in the lineup as it replaces the 800cc model. And I think for it to sell well, it really needs to differentiate itself from last year's large capacity machines. And I think Kawasaki has done this. The new 900 is vastly different from the 800cc it replaces and the 1000 that it sits next to on showroom floors. While the capacity and performance is closer to that of the 1000, I still think it will claim its own patch of turf. The biggest improvement Kawasaki has made with the Z900 is that it's 21 kilos lighter than the model it replaces and about 11 kilos lighter than the Z1000. This has mainly been achieved by a new trellis frame and a lighter swing arm. And like the 650, the new Z900 has received a major styling update, without compromising the aggressive silhouette and imposing aura that Kawasaki dubs Suzugomi. If that Z-pattern LED tail light doesn't do it for you, I don't know what will. And there's no better way to show off that trellis frame than by painting it candy lime green. So there's new instruments which have 3 different display modes: a gear position indicator, programmable shift light, and others. But the standout feature on the new Z9 has to be the 948cc inline 4-cylinder engine with its buttery smooth gearbox and slipper clutch. Kawasaki deserves high praise for its linear power delivery. The smooth throttle response at low revs and short gear ratios show how refined and easy to ride this Z9 is. So there's enough headroom to be a bit lazier and use the torque to your advantage, but you can also ride at those stratospheric revs like a super sport machine. It's the best of both worlds. And when you open the taps, you have sheer excitement not only in your hands but in your ears too. The Z9 is the second bike from Kawasaki to have it designed with its intake hour in mind. Hearing the engine spin up to the point where 99 newtons force 125 ponies to dance is a uniquely Kawasaki experience and something to behold. I can't fault the way the bike steers. 24.5 degrees of rake and 103 mils of trail is a nice balance between agility and stability. It tips into corners confidently and it picks up well. Low speed handling is great. U-turns and lane filtering is a cinch. Big capacity nakeds tend to have pretty stiff, uncompromising suspension. And while the Z9 is on the firm side, I found it to be pretty good on most surfaces. I took this bike on tour for 3 days over some of Australia's best and worst roads, The front complied with every change in surface, while the rear took the harshness out of the bumps, and boy, were there a few of them. Both the front and rear suspension are preload and rebound adjustable. And the preload on the rear is wound out all the way from the factory. I weigh about 110 kilos, and the static sag on that rebound setting was pretty close to perfect for my weight. It's a little bit of bad news if you weigh less than me, because the rear spring seems like it'll be too firm for those rougher surfaces and not have enough extension in its stroke. Pulling the bike up are two 4-piston calipers with 300mm discs up front, and while they aren't the likes of something like the ZX10, for a bike like this, they're great. I really like the riding position. Slightly forward and into the wind, everything falls to your hand and feet nicely. But I do think there's a little bit of room for ergonomic improvement. The seat could do with a little bit more padding. The side stand could be a little bit easier to locate, and the pegs were a bit slippery in the wet. So, I hear you asking, is that all that's wrong with the bike? There isn't much to fault on the package that Kawasaki has given us. Although I'm a bit surprised the Z9 doesn't have rider modes or traction control, I really think that there's a lot of people that are going to be happy with that. There's no denying that Kawasaki has supplied a simply exhilarating machine. It's fantastic. It has one of the best engines I've come across. At $12,499 plus on roads, it offers plenty of bang for buck in its category.
Now we're down at Ginger's Creek Roadhouse, which is on the Oxley Highway, and really famous place to stop for bike enthusiasts. When we first pulled up here an hour or so ago, there was probably like, I don't know, 40 bikes. And there's been a bit of talk about the Roads and Maritime Service, the RMS, which is the old RTA in New South Wales, dropping the speed limit along certain parts of this road. They're citing, a high number of accidents with motorcycles and all sorts of stuff as part of the reasoning behind it. But we're here with Ken Healey. Now, you're a bit of a local, Ken, and you ride this road all the time, and you're behind one of those change.org sort of campaigns, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, exactly.
To stop the RMS from, changing all these speed limits.
At least slow them up in their tracks. At least get them to have a rethink.
So do you think that it's unwarranted what they want to do?
We believe it is. When I say we, it's the people that support what I did with the petition on change.org. They initially proposed changing the speed zone from the first 30 k's on the mountain, from the bottom of the mountain to about 8 k's past Ginger's Creek here.
Right.
They wanted to reduce that to 70 kilometres an hour. Then there will be an 80 zone, then there'll be a 90 zone, and then it's back to 100, and then you're back into the 110 zone again at the top of the mountain. So between the 100k sign at the top of the mountain and the bottom of the mountain, there'd be 4 speed zone changes.
Right.
So how ridiculous is that?
Yeah.
No one will know what speed they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, I guess too, when you're concentrating on trying to keep a vehicle down to 70 k's an hour, you're concentrating more on that than actually where you're going.
Yes, exactly.
Being smooth and reading the road.
Yeah.
Reading it for dangers and so on. But it's not just this. I mean, there's other changes. When I looked at some of the accident stats, they were like the other side of Walker.
Oh yes, that's right. They're including in their statistics all the way from Port Macquarie to Gunnedah.
Oh.
Now the section, this little bit here at Ginger's Creek, the mountain section, that's in the section from Port Macquarie to Walker.
Okay.
There's been something like 92 casualty crashes on the Oxley Highway between Gunnedah and Port Macquarie over between 2009 or 2010 and something up to about 2015. There were 90-something casualty crashes where the police have got to be called or the ambulance has got to be called, and only one fatal.
Right,
so
okay.
Some poor soul lost their life somewhere along the Oxley Highway. You can't pinpoint it on their map, but from all accounts we were told it was west of the New England Highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this speed zone change thing, what's initiated all of that is the federal government set up a mob called Austroads, and they're pushing towards zero. They want a zero fatality claim Australia-wide by 2020.
And that's unrealistic.
Yeah,
let's face
good
it.
luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
You know,
Never gonna happen.
you've had a bit of a win so far, though, haven't you? Like,
Yes. Well, we set up a meeting. I got the petition going back in about August. It would have been August 2016, and at around about the end of September, we had a meeting with business people. There was a couple of us representing the motorcycle community. There were business people like Gary here at Gingers Creek, Ralph down at Mount Seaview Resort, Tony and Greg Heaney up at Walker Royal Cafe, another man from one of the motels in Walker, a couple of business people from Warhope, and the local member, Melinda Pavey. They all attended a meeting at Mount Seaview at the end of September. And they were very sympathetic to our causes, our claims.
it can be a dangerous road, this
Oh yeah,
road,
without a doubt.
if you treat it without respect.
Yeah, sure.
And you ride beyond your limits.
Yeah.
And especially can be wet. It can hold a lot of moisture a lot of time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, but it's
Yeah.
like any road, you know. If you ride within your limits and don't be stupid, it should be okay.
Yeah, give the mountain respect. This mountain deserves all the respect it can get.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
for
personally
sure.
don't believe that they need to drop the speed limit down to what they.
No,
what they're
70 is
wanting.
just ridiculously too low. We're obviously hoping that, we know they're going to lower it. We don't know what to. We're obviously hoping 90 kilometres an hour. That'd make sense.
Yeah.
Everyone would be happy. We can still ride the mountain without fear of getting booked all the time.
Yep.
And all the rest of it.
Oh well,
That's-
good luck. I mean, it takes people that have the passion like yourself to put the effort in and the time.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like sheep, we just all accept it and
Yeah, exactly.
and put up with it.
Yeah. At the moment, we've got somewhere around 7,500 signatures on change.org. And for anyone watching this little video, if you haven't signed the petition, go to change.org and search for Oxley, and the Oxley Highway petition will come up. I encourage you to sign that petition and get your partners to sign the petition, get your kids to sign the petition. The more signatures we can get, the better. We'd have about maybe 3,000 signatures here at Gingers Creek on paper-based. When the RMS decide to hold their meeting, we're going to take that petition to them. And so we've got 10,000 people, hopefully more than 10,000 people, and this is their response, where they all agree with us that it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay, well done. Thanks, Ken.
All right.
If you haven't done so, get on change.org and sign the petition. I already have.
Join us on Facebook for a Q&A after the episode. You can ask me any question you like about the show or about motorcycling in general. And the best comment will win one of these Kovex locks. We've been using this one. We featured them in an earlier episode. They're alarms and locks built into one, and we really like them, and I'll be giving 3 away later on tonight. This product review is brought to you by Avon Tyres. This is the Ace Tie Downs ratchet kit, designed specifically for carrying motorbikes, for tying them down on the back of your trailer or in your van. And comes in a very handy carry case. There's nothing messier than tie downs floating around the back of your van. And in here we have bits and pieces. So we'll start with the straps themselves. Now, they're inch wide, 25 millimetres. Now there's 2 parts to this. So, a few things I really like. I really like it when there's a retention hook on the hook there. So it can't just pop off. If the suspension gets compressed and it moves, that can pop off a lot of hooks, and that won't happen with these. Now they're inch wide, which is plenty for tying down motorcycles. And this is the other half of the tie down. So again, at the other end, now some tie downs come with one spring hook. With these come with 2. And then you've just got the tie down there. So the loose end there goes through. Now, the other thing that these come with that I really like is in here. A pair of loops. So these loops can be used like that, or they can be wrapped around a fork leg or a handlebar, whatever you need to, and pulled through like this. And then you can put the hook on that. And this avoids scratching. It lets you get to exactly the spot you want to get to. There's another way too. You can just wrap that around and hook both ends onto the hook itself. So the combination of having these loops, if you need them, the ratchets to get the right tension on, and the loops on the bottom, combined with a product that's been designed specifically for motorbikes and built to do the job properly, combined with a carry bag. It's all been put together by people who have really had to carry bikes around, know the problems that you get from these situations, and have designed and built a product to really solve that problem. And I reckon these Ace Bikes tie downs are going to be really, really handy for when we have to move motorcycles around, which we do a lot here at Cycle Talk. This feature is brought to you by Spitty on Track.
So you decided to build a custom bike because stock doesn't work for you. That's fantastic. There's a lot of skills in building a custom bike that you don't normally get. How to build guards, how to customise parts. Where would you get those skills? Well, we're going to show you a special place today.
Welcome to Workshop Masters. We're just basically putting an event on today that is a focus around custom motorcycles. It is all the people we work with and have been working with for many years. We've built relationships with, so painters, metal fabricators, welders, guys that are in the workshop assembling, technicians from all walks of life that we work with have all come together today to show you their stuff.
Vaughan, what are we doing today?
G'day. I'm making this rear hugger for a bobber. So what I've done already is make the centre section of this guard. The reason that we've opened the workshop to begin with is really so that we can advertise skills and higher level skill sets, etc., and try and demystify what is supposedly a black art and just break it down into basic steps so that guys can come in, as I said, and just do small skill development activities and refine their skills. And next thing, when you look back after a few months, you'll see that where you've come from and where you're at is quite a broad range of skills that you've already developed.
Nick, how's it going, mate? Good, mate. You? Not bad at all. So I see you doing a fantastic job on this bike.
Yeah, getting there, slowly. It's all about getting it right the first time, hopefully.
I love getting the colours out of the worlds, and I love working with stainless steel. It's my favourite material. And I work in a family business. All we've done is stainless since about 1980. So we make all of our own products here in Australia. We give a 10-year warranty with it, and I've just grown up around it, and I absolutely love working with it, and I'm really good at it. I get massive job satisfaction from seeing big smiles on my customers' faces, so that's what drives me to be better at it, and that's what drives me to enjoy it.
The very first bike I built, I basically just gave the parts to someone and told them what to do. But you don't get the same feeling when you're actually making and fabricating the stuff yourself.
A reasonable time frame for a build, you're looking at, depending on your starting point, as in my aspirations are here, my skill base is here, it can drag on for a very long time.
To get the general gist of it, it wouldn't take somebody that long, but to actually master it, the rule of thumb is 10,000 hours, I believe, to master any craft, and I've done probably double that, and I've only come good in the last 3 years.
The gasoline R9T build was just over 200 hours. So over a time frame of about 5 weeks, we completed it.
Everything now is pre-manufactured. You know, no one really makes things anymore. So I think it's really important.
You're still here? Come on, we've shown you all the skills. Go off and build your custom bike now and enjoy it.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Now we'd like you to make your comments. If you've ridden one, let us know what you think. If you haven't ridden one, tell us what else you'd like to know. But either way, please subscribe and share it with all your friends.